Is it okay if I start by asking you a question? If it is okay for me to ask you a question, please type Y in the chat box. Is it okay for me to ask you a question? Please type Y in the chat box. If it is okay for me to ask you a question. Can you hear me? So I'm sorry for the Hello, friends. Thank you for taking out time and today. I really appreciate your joining us today. Said that we have got with us. I'll request so if you're not speaking time with us today, you have given us a vote of confidence that we really appreciate. I assure you that the investment of time that you have. Our guest speaker today is a dear friend and an ex-colleague, Amarjeet Singh. Amarjeet Singh is the founder and a trainer with experience of over 28 years across wide range of industries, which include white goods, FMCG, garments industry, telecom, and insurance industry. Last 18 years, he has worked in insurance industry with companies like Bajaj Allianz Life, Bajaj Allianz General Insurance, Future Generali, and his last assignment was as the sales training head for one of the largest general insurance companies in India, IFCO Tokyo General Insurance. He is a person who is a practitioner, and he practices before he preaches. And the topic today is something which is so close to my heart. Both the things that we're going to talk about today, love and law of attraction, are two very powerful invisible forces that determine the course of our life. But our schooling system doesn't talk about these. Our schooling system is more about development of intellectual capabilities rather than about our understanding the invisible but powerful forces which shape our life. Love is a very powerful force because it helps us in elevating our life from a low energy state to a high energy state. And law of attraction is a very powerful force which guides everything in our lives. And whether we like it or not, whether we know it about it or not, but law of attraction governs everything in our life. So before I invite Amarjeet to start the session today, let me take a minute to introduce myself. My name is Ashish Kumar, and I'm the founder of Mindful Living. I started Mindful Living in 2018 with a mission to help 1 million working professionals become healthier, happier, and wealthier. Friends, is that a noble initiative? If you find it's a noble initiative, please type N in the chat box. Thank you, Amarjeet. If you find this to be noble, I'll request you to spread word about what we are doing by sharing the link of our FB Live in 3 of your WhatsApp groups. So Ashmita is sharing the link to this event is live on FB, and you can spread the word about what we are doing by sharing about the today's event in 3 of your WhatsApp groups. In the last 3 years, we have conducted over 250 sessions on application of mindfulness in our daily lives. And these sessions have been conducted in some very reputed organizations like IBM, Tata Group, Aditya Birla Group, Kotak Life, SDFC Life, Schneider, Times of India, Airbnb, etc. So that's in brief about us, friends. Request you to pay your full attention. This will be an interactive session. Amarjeet will talk first, and we will open it up for Q&A. So Amarjeet, on that note, over to you. Welcome to Mindful Living Community and our session today. We are really looking forward to hearing your amazing story on how love and law of attraction transformed your life. And we have also welcome, Amarjeet's better half, Hardeep ji, who is also on this call. So welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. First of all, for one aspect, that is you are trying to help people, and 1 million people, and I hope you will be able to contribute and help you shoulder to shoulder. And second thing, thank you for giving me this opportunity to share my experience, and I also wish that I am able to help people in living happier and better life. So first of all, good evening and hello to everyone. Ashish sir has already given my introduction. So myself, Amarjeet Singh, and I am basically a sales guy, trainer, and trying to help people in different aspects of the life. Today's subject, when love and law of attraction. Incidentally, like a few days back, I and Ashish ji was sitting in my office, and we were discussing something. And there I shared one story of mine where I wanted to communicate and tell him that law of attraction really, really very powerful tool, which all of us can be benefited with. However, it needs a certain basic things, which is love also. So law of attraction, all of us have heard, and most of us probably have tried to exercise or practice law of attraction. However, like what is my understanding about law of attraction is that law of attraction is a vehicle. And this vehicle really performs very, very well when there are two things out there. I mean, just like your car or just like any other vehicle, to drive and to make it run faster and make it run at a speed which we really want, we need two things. One is fuel. Correct. The law of attraction demands a fuel, and that fuel is probably attitude of gratitude. When you are able to see good in anything and everything which you are receiving, and you are thankful for that to the God. So generally what happens is that like this vehicle is actually fueled with the petrol or diesel or gas, which is gratitude. However, if you go a little deeper, you will realize that petrol, diesel or gas can make your vehicle run, and it will make it run at whatever speed you want. It will start running, and after some time it will stop, and it will stop because of one missing component. In a physical vehicle, I mean car or motorbike or anything, even if you have a fuel, your vehicle engine will cease. It will not run. You know why? Because lubricating oil is missing. The love is that lubricating oil which actually makes the functioning of law of attraction easier, smoother. Now, what is love? This is a one area which we really need to understand. Generally, when we talk about that, I love my wife, I love my father, I love my mother, I love my children, I love this or I love that. Is it really a love? And when we try to find it out, I would like to share this one message from Shri Krishna. This will help us in understanding what exactly love is. So this is Shri Krishna telling to the Dronacharya, listen to me, O great says Drona, true love gives prosperity. True love helps the subject differentiate between right and wrong. True love and adharma cannot reside together. Had there been true love, then neither you nor your son would have been on this side of the battlefield fighting on behalf of adharma. What you think as love is not love, but a moh. It is simple. It is simply an attachment to worldly things and relations. Do you know what is true love? The love you have for Arjuna is true love. Do you know what is moh? The love you have for your own son, Ashwatthama, is moh. The love Dhritarashtra has for his son, Duryodhan, is moh. The love Bhishma had for his father, Shantanu, was moh. Moh and love cannot reside together. Just as dharma and adharma cannot reside together. Light and darkness cannot reside together. Water and fire cannot reside together. So this is one really powerful message and understanding which we can take from Lord Krishna, that love and moh, there is a thin line. However, it creates a different impact on our life. And we will have to get into a love mode rather than a moh mode. And what is love out here? If you understand that you are thinking or you are praying or you are wishing well-being of everyone, whether you know or you don't know, whether you care or you don't care, whether they are good people with you or they are not, that means you are loving somebody. So attitude of gratitude, when we talk about in law of attraction, cannot be practiced without being in love. So love is not doing, love is being in love. Because what I feel is this, when you say that I am thankful to God, so I am thankful to God for everything, correct? I cannot select that, okay, fine, I am thankful to God because Ashish ji is good with me. And I'm not thankful to God because Ashimita is not good with me. Her behavior is not right with me. So love does not differentiate this. Love actually help you in getting into a complete attitude of gratitude. And until and unless we are in that mode, in that state of mind where we are able to see God, we are able to see the Creator in everyone around us, and we are able to say that I love this, I really am in love with this, because whatever is happening for a reason. So that is where this love starts functioning. It is not loving a family member. It is not loving something which I own. It is not loving something which is earned by me. It is loving anything and everything which is around me, and the creator of that thing or person or anything is the God, and that is where love exists. Now, how it works, because if I talk about law of attraction, uh, law of attraction is what? Is it a philosophy? Is it a psychology, or it is a lifestyle? Can I request if you can write in the chat box, what do you think? Is it a philosophy? You can write 1, 2, 3. For philosophy 1, psychology 2, and lifestyle 3. What do you think? Law of attraction is what? Is it a philosophy, psychology, or life skill? Well, law of attraction probably is a philosophy. We are talking about something which neither you have seen or I have seen, that there is energy, and that energy is positive and negative, and that energy works when we actually attract that. So we attract whatever we think about, and whatever we think about comes to our life, and that is how law of attraction works. So this is what is a broadly understood and broadly practiced thing. So we are manifesting something. We are thinking about something. We want to achieve something, and we are into that thought process that yes, I am achieving this. I am getting this. I mean, it can be material thing. It can be relationship. It can be anything else. However, this philosophy is very beautiful philosophy which helps us in building psychology. Why? Because when I am attracting something, when I'm trying to achieve something and trying to manifest that I'm receiving that actually impacts my psychology. So whatever I'm trying to achieve, my brain starts thinking about it. When I devote myself to that with attitude of gratitude, then what happens is that everything which I see, which I look around, I start looking positive in that. I start being happy. I start being hopeful with anything and everything. And when this psychology starts working at that level, when I'm happy, I am hopeful, I am actually ignoring, or I have started looking away from negative things, this over a period of time becomes lifestyle. And when this becomes lifestyle, practicing a law of attraction becomes natural. You don't really need to put an effort to practice law of attraction. However, as I said, that love is the lubricating wire. I can try, I can start thinking, okay, fine, I am achieving this. But in this whole law of attraction, in this whole process of law of attraction, I am manifesting. And whatever I'm manifesting, I have certain number of people or surroundings or a lot of things outside me which are playing a role out here. And if I am not in love with myself in general and with the creator, the creations of the God overall, then probably I may manifest, but I will not get results. Why? Because if I want something in my life happening, then there is 100% chances that somebody else is going to give it to me. And that receiving that from that person maybe a natural transition, natural transaction, or maybe a legal transaction, or maybe an official transaction, or maybe a purely love or emotional transaction. But at the same time, we are going to work with a lot of people to receive whatever we are attracting. Well, this is what is my understanding of law of attraction, and I did practice it, and I've been practicing it for quite some time. And let me share a couple of experiences, experiments which I did with law of attraction and love. In 2011, I was on bed. I was suffering from a serious back problem, and there was a serious disc bulge in my L4, L5 vertebra, and I was put on bed rest, and I was told to undergo surgery. And that is where I started blessing. I started blessing this doctor because he was friendly with me. And I tell you one thing, this happened accidentally. I did not consciously did this, but later on I realized that what I'm doing is getting results, and I started practicing it. So when I was meeting this doctor, his name was Dr. Harshvardhan Hegde. He told me to undergo surgery, and his behavior was good, and I started blessing him. When I started blessing him, I started getting a different treatment from him. And eventually, after 4 or 5 consultation, he said, "मैं तुम्हारी surgery नहीं कर रहा हूँ." And I was surprised. I mean, I consulted a good number of doctors, not 2 doctors, good number of doctors, including one doctor in my family also. And everybody said that only option for you is surgery. But this Dr. Harshvardhan Hegde, sitting in Fortis Hospital, which is a purely commercial hospital, and saying that I am not operating you. I said, what will happen if I collapse? Because I was not able to walk properly. He said, if you collapse, you come to me within 72 hours, and in 3 hours, I will send you back on your feet. So this is the power of law of attraction. When you are actually blessing people, you are actually falling in love with the creator of the God, and you realize that people start working in a way where they are holding your hand and taking you out of the situation. This was the beginning of my practicing day in and day out law of attraction. And then since 2008, I mean, it's a very personal story, but since it can benefit you, I will share it with you. Since 2008, I was going through a very bad patch in my life. Broken marriage, a lot of police cases and all, everything. And nothing was I was not able to see anything. I mean, I was not able to see tomorrow. And then in 2017, I met my wife. She is there. She is with us. And nothing was, I mean, legally, you know that once you are entangled in legal cases and all, it becomes very difficult in India to get out of it. And especially getting out of it at your speed. 2017, I met Hardeep. And somehow we fall in love. And this case was going on. I never filed divorce. And then we decided to marry. And 2017 November, she said, why don't you file divorce so that we can marry? Right. I'm not going in details, but I filed a divorce in November 2017. And generally in India, if a man wants a divorce, it takes probably a decade or maybe lifelong to get divorced. And then this lady, my wife, she started doing what I used to do unknowingly. She started doing it consciously. she started blessing that lady. She started blessing her advocate. She started blessing the judge. She started sending positive blessings for all the people who were involved there. And you will, I mean, I still get goosebumps when I see this. You won't believe that it was a movie story that November 2018, there was no chance of getting divorce. Anyways, I mean, whatever you can do, but you will not get divorced. That was the situation. And December 5, I remember those dates because it's such a powerful tool. She used it and she motivated me to use that tool also. So we both together did it, and you won't believe, within 25 days, from nowhere, we got the official node for the divorce. And this is like, I mean, why I'm sharing this is a very personal story, but I'm sharing this because I experienced this, that love is much more powerful than anything else. And further to this, today also, if I sit and I realize that how it happened, in my previous slide, I was talking about it's a psychology. So when you are blessing somebody, when you are sending love for somebody, what happens is that naturally you cannot hate that person if you are sending blessings. Naturally, you cannot dislike that person when you are sending blessings. When you are sending blessings, when you are sending love, when you are sending well-being wishes for that person, you cannot. I mean, your behavior will be natural, normal, loving, and caring. And impact of this particular thought process inside you ensures that you are not doing anything wrong. You are sending those positive vibes which are experienced by people around you. And that's what is the power of love. And if you are practicing law of attraction, using this lubricating oil, which is love, with the fuel, which is attitude of gratitude, will get you different results altogether. And this is what is my personal experience, and that is what I wanted to share with everyone. Usually I see, like, whenever I am dealing with people, whenever I am trying to counsel people or trying to sort people problem, I realize they are keeping grudges inside them. And still they want something good happening with them. And law of attraction does not work like that. Law of attraction will not work because inside you are negative, but you are trying to send positive energy, whereas inside you are negative. So love helps you in being at that particular frame of mind where you are actually not only thinking positive, you are actually emitting positivity. And that's what is a powerful tool. And I generally request everybody, like, okay, fine, somebody has done bad with you. It's okay, accept it. Because you know that it is God, it is Almighty, it is Bhagwan, whatever name you call. You know that this is driven by that power. And that power is sending something to you. Accept it and send blessing to that person also. You know what will happen? This will protect you from being negative. This will protect you from being in a state of mind where you are not able to concentrate. It will protect you from your behavior, which is actually destructive. So that is where, I mean, spread love. Even if people are not good, send love for them, blessing for them. Always, like, I mean, your communication, internal communication should not be like that. Yaar, isko samajh nahi aata hai. Your internal communication should be that God bless him. He is blessed with wisdom. So that when you say that God bless him, he is blessed with wisdom, what will happen even if you have some role to play where he can actually attain wisdom, you will put in efforts knowingly or unknowingly. And the moment these efforts are there, results are in your favor. Sooner or later, things will start moving in your favor. Things will start moving in your favor in terms of happiness, in terms of achievement, in terms of peace of mind. And I tell you one thing, if you have a peace of mind, if you are happy inside, then only you can create materialistic things, then only you can create happiness for others. Material comes with peace of mind. Material comes with happiness inside because it needs efforts. And efforts are always fruitful when you are in that frame that you are doing something to achieve something without being negative. Otherwise, energy sucking is, I mean, there are a lot of energy suckers. If you keep grudges for people, it'll suck your energy so much so that by the thought of that person, you will start losing your energy. You will feel tired. You will feel exhausted. I mean, but the best way is that send blessings to them, because it's not you and me who will decide the fortune of anyone. However, we can play to create a good fortune for ourselves, and probably happiness, which Ashish ji started with, is biggest thing which we all need. Baki things will come and go, but if you are happy, if you are at peace with yourself, that is the achievement. That is the only achievement, I would say. With this, I will open this for discussion, and I really would love your questions.
Thank you so much, Amarjeet, for such a powerful sharing. I think both the examples, one medical challenge that you faced and the other one on the relationships, are so powerful and so moving. I think that's amazing. When we normally read about law of attraction and love moves mountains, वो वैसे लगता है ये सुन के ये कुछ किसी के साथ होता होगा शायद, but इतना powerful है नहीं. But when I heard your story and I realized that this actually works, I thought I requested you that you must come and share your story with us. It's such a powerful and moving story. And it takes a lot of courage to come out and share this with everybody, because these are very, very personal examples. So really appreciate that, Amarjeet. Thank you very much. And we would like to have thoughts from everyone. Any comments, any questions you have for Amarjeet? I'm sure there is a lot of takeaways. If you would like to share any takeaway, any comment, any question, please feel free to unmute yourself and share. We are happy to hear from you.
Amarjeet ji, Ashmita here. Do you follow any particular book? Have you read any particular book or something which there is any books for this set practice? Like for gratitude and all, we know what are the steps we have to. So there is anything powerful which you would like to recommend us in terms of books or any website or something?
Yeah, I tell you one thing on this. There are commercial books which we can read, like The Secret, etc. But fortunately, in India, we have our Gita there, we have Guru Granth Sahib there, that is full of this only. And if you try to understand those messages from these holy books, you will realize, I mean, every single sentence written there is telling you, love God, love people, and you will, I'll share, good that you asked this question. When I was going through very difficult time and I was listening to Gurbani, and these two lines I will share with you, and both are different from different bhajan. One is that tu kahe dole praniya tud rakhega sirjanhar, jin paidaish tu kiya soi de aadhar. So when I heard this, so see, unknowingly we sometimes hit that particular time, that particular code when we are actually distressed, we are actually troubled, then only we realize this, right? So when I heard this, I did not know much about the meaning of this, and I tried to find out the meaning for that. And I realized that such a powerful message in Guru Granth Sahib is there. And why are you worried about anything? And then there is one more. I mean, let me share third one also. I am getting second message which I heard from. I understand from Guru Granth Sahib, where Guru Nanak Dev Ji said that कि भैया तुम इतने पावरफुल हो, अगर तुम समझते हो कि तुम बहुत पावरफुल हो और जिंदगी तुम चला सकते हो, तो जो 5 तत्व है ना, अग्नि, धरती, आकाश, पानी और छठा बना के बताओ. If you are so very powerful, create the 6th one and tell the God that you are more powerful. Right? And then one more thing, सिखिज्म के अंदर है ना, हम 5 पाठ करते हैं, शाम को एक पाठ करते हैं जिसका नाम है रहरास साहब. Right? And that starts with one line which is really touching, and I never understood this until and unless I was in trouble, to be honest. And that is Dukh Daru Sukh Rog Bhaya. And the meaning is simple. दुख जो है ना, वो आपको दवा दे देता है, राइट? वो ही दवा का काम करता है, और दुख से ही आपको जो है समस्याओं का समाधान मिलता है, और जो सुख है ना, वो बीमारियों का घर है. तो चैलेंज योरसेल्फ, राइट? सो दीज आर द, I mean, Abhi, in this my presentation, I quoted something from Gita, right, where Bhagwan Shri Krishna is giving a message, and when I look at those messages, no, there are more than 20-30 such messages in Gita itself. I mean, same. I mean, love, moh, or inka jo hai na, if you want to understand, Gita gives you a full understanding of these things. So commercial books are there, The Secret is there, all those things are there. However, if we get into our own these beautiful books, we will get a lot.
Thank you. I got my answer.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for that question, Ashmita, and great insights, Amarjeet, from our scriptures. Really appreciate your quoting from the scriptures. You are very right. I think that's the source of wisdom that we need to revisit. And on that note, I would like to share with everybody that in the month of December, the whole month we are devoting to sessions on Gita. So we'll be having a Gita Mahotsav where we'll be inviting different speakers to come and speak particularly on the application of the Gita to modern life, to our contemporary life. That is the theme that we're going to be working on. So Amarjeet, thank you very much for sharing about that. And while we are getting some feedback on the chat, we would also appreciate if you can share your feedback. We have a small feedback form which will take less than a minute to fill. So please take out time and share your feedback. We really thrive on your feedback. Please take a minute and share with us your feedback while we're waiting to hear from others, their questions and comments.
Okay. Can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. In the equation of love, when we say love, in the equation, basically, which one you think more powerful, sacrifice or expectation to balance love? And apart from that, if you say it is sacrifice, then how will you justify love accelerates law of attraction?
See, I mean, pardon me for this. I would like to understand, what do you mean by sacrifice?
Sacrifice means if you love somebody and you understand him or her well, then of course you are ready to make him or her happy at any cost. And the cost may require your sacrifices, which you are willing to do. You are ready to pay for it. Now, when you make sacrifice,
Yeah, please carry on.
But when you make sacrifices, then you are somewhere compromising over your expectations. And then I think, will it accelerate the law of attraction in that way? How will you manage that?
Yeah, that's really interesting question, and I would really love to give a practical answer to this. There are two things which you yourself mentioned. One is expectation, and second is sacrifice. And the intensity, or I would say the pain or happiness in sacrificing purely depends on your expectation. If you have low expectation, you will find that your sacrifice is low. If you have a high expectation, you will find that your sacrifice is high. And that expectation will decide your sacrifice intensity. And that is where your law of attraction probably will fail. Why it will fail? Because you are in a business transaction probably, where you are expecting something to happen for something which you are doing. And love says that it is unconditional. Love says that, okay, fine, I accept you the way you are. Right? I don't have an expectation from you. I take you the way you are, right? At the same time, I'm taking care of myself also. So in that situation, what happens is that you are dealing with your, let's say you are dealing with your spouse. So there is an expectation, you have an expectation, and if that expectation is not fulfilled, you consider it as a compromise or it consider as a sacrifice. Correct? And because this sacrifice comes into the picture, there is a thought process, there is internal conflict within you that communicates to you, let's try to do something, why this is happening with me, why she is not able to understand, and so on. And on the contrary, what I am saying is, right, keep your expectation low. And if something which you are not liking, which you are not comfortable with, for which send a blessing to her, send a blessing or pray for the person, because here you are talking about somebody who's in close relationship. However, even if you are not in close relationship, like as again I'll quote Gurbani, that every prayer we end with Nanak Naam Chardi Kala Tere Pane Sarvat Tabala. So there are two things. Chardi Kala mean keep your spirit high, and Sarvat Tabala matlab sabka bala ho. So it is difficult. I tell you one thing, it is not easy to keep your expectation low and keep loving someone, but it is a matter of practice. If you start doing it, you will realize that you yourself are becoming calmer. And once you are calm inside, then expectation management is nothing. You can do it just like that. So that's where you have to ensure that if something is disturbing you, counter it with love. Send blessings, send positive vibes, and pray for the well-being without expecting for anything in return.
Thank you. It's very powerful. Thank you.
Thank you.
And also, I would like to say something.
Yeah, please.
As you told just now, I totally agree with you. When we love somebody, it should be unconditional. As a mother loves a child, that is totally unconditional love. And there must be a complete surrender. Right. So I just gave you cited the example of mother and the child, but we can love anybody. It can be a friend, it can be a spouse, it can be anyone. So same is the case with God. So when we love, it should be complete surrender. And at the same time, it should be unconditional love. Then we get the real taste of love, what the love is. And we really start enjoying it. And as when you told about the wives, no doubt I have experienced wives have got great power, and you can send it to anybody on the earth in any corner of the world.
Yeah.
And in Gita, as you were telling about Gita constantly, when we read it from the very first chapter to the 18th chapter, we realize that Bhagavan Krishna has insisted on karma. He never said that you escape from the karma. At the same time, he again and again he tells Arjun that Maya arpitam buddhi, मेरे में ही बुद्धि आप अर्पित करो, मेरे में ही सरेंडर करो. जब आप अपने आप को कंप्लीट सरेंडर कर देते हैं उस सुप्रीम पावर को, तो वो अनकंडीशनल लव अपने आप हो जाता है और उससे आपको बहुत पावर मिलती है. और दुख की बात की तो लाइफ इज अ रोलर कोस्टर. आई बिलीव कभी आपका सुख है, कभी आपका दुख है, नो डाउट. और दुख व्हेन इट कम्स टू अस, वी शुड, हमें ये दीज आर द टेस्टिंग टाइम्स एंड वी गेट मोर टाइम फॉर इंट्रोस्पेक्शन. तब हमें इंट्रोस्पेक्शन हमें ज्यादा मिलता है और तब हम धीरे धीरे जिंदगी को महसूस करना शुरू कर देते हैं कि जिंदगी है क्या, ये हमें क्यों मिली है, किस लिए मिली है. एंड इट इज द पार्ट ऑफ लाइफ. तो हमारा वो लव और पहले से ज्यादा स्ट्रॉन्गर होने लगता है. जैसे मीरा ने भगवान से क्या मांगा, आप मुझे, कुंती ने क्या मांगा भगवान कृष्ण से, आप मुझे सदा दुखी दीजिए. क्योंकि दुख में हम क्या होता है, इंट्रोस्पेक्शन चलता है. इंट्रोस्पेक्शन से वो सरेंडर आता है टुवर्ड्स गॉड एंड सुप्रीम पावर. वो तो हमारी सुप्रीम पावर है ही, एंड विच एग्जिस्ट इन ईच वन ऑफ अस. वो सुप्रीम पावर जो चेतन है, चैतन्य तत्व है, वही हमें चला रहा है, वही हम सब में है. और हमारे हर धर्म ग्रंथ में, आप गुरुवाणी की बात कर रहे हैं, गीता की बात करें, हम अपने कोई भी स्क्रिप्चर्स को जब लेते हैं, सब में यही कहा गया है कि ये चेतन तत्व ही है जो हमें चला रहा है. जो आप में है वही मेरे में है और वही तीसरे में है, वही संसार के हर प्राणी में है. तो जब ये महसूस हम करने लगते हैं, अपने आप को कंसंट्रेट करके, अपने आप को वाइब्स वो देके, तो वो पावर, वो लव, हमारा अनकंडीशनल लव, वो सबके लिए होता है, टुवर्ड्स वन एंड ऑल. दिस इज व्हाट आई थिंक. राइट. और उसमें फिर हमारे पास सेक्रीफाइस की फीलिंग नहीं होती कि हम सेक्रीफाइस कर रहे हैं या हम कॉम्प्रोमाइज कर रहे हैं. वो तब होती है जब हमें अपने आप को फोर्स करना पड़ता है. तो
वो एक्सपेक्टेशन के साथ में आती है. When there are expectations, that we feel that we are compromising, we are sacrificing.
Yes. Absolutely right.
Thank you, ma'am. Quite an insightful. And Sanjeev sir, you wanted to ask something.
Yeah, so I think my question is more towards that law of attraction. See, the basic premise that you want to attract something in your life is you may feel the necessity, you may feel the gap, you may feel that is something missing. And when you want that, it means that you are setting certain expectations. Yeah. So expectations, yeah, kaise, matlab, how can you really get away from expectations? Yeah. And unconditional is I'm not talking about love. I'm talking about the law of attraction. So if I need something which I want to attract to make me feel better, make me more complete or whatever in my life. So how does the law of attraction explain? Because I'm really setting the expectation to get something out of it.
That's a very interesting question. Yes, law of attraction, when we are saying we are setting some expectation, correct?
Yeah.
But we are setting these expectations from our own self. उसको करने वाला भी मैं हूँ और उसको expect करने वाला भी मैं हूँ. I mean, input and output both are with me. And when input and output both are with me, what can help me is surrounding. That means I need support of surrounding. Surrounding mean anything and everything, people around me or system around me. I need those things working for me. And those things working from me will happen when there is a kind of energy which is moving with me. And that energy can be created by law of attraction. So if I am expecting something, suppose, let me give you a small example. I want to go to Jaipur. I'm sitting in Gurgaon. I want to go to Jaipur, right? This is what is my expectation. And I go to bus stand to take a bus, correct? And if I'm irritated, I'm in hurry, my focus is on just this thing ki, like I have to reach to Jaipur fatafat, and I'm not bothered about surroundings, right? So in such situation, I will still reach Jaipur because I have started taking action. But my state of mind will be such that even after reaching to Jaipur, I'll not be able to enjoy it. The law of attraction is actually, yes, you are right. There are expectations, but these expectations are from myself. And anybody else who is part of this expectation is blessed. It is not expected from them that they will support me. It is like requested to the Almighty or the surrounding or the energy that they support me.
Yeah, so it is basically to condition your mental frame, right? Your mindset.
Yes.
Mindset.
Yeah, it's more of a mental game. It's more of a mental game.
And that's the reason when you asked the question in the beginning, I voted for psychology because it deals with your mindset. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a. I mean, actually, when you are practicing any philosophy, it is going to impact your psychology.
So first you have to believe in that. First you have to believe in that, and then it affects your mental frame. Yeah.
Right. See, at the end of the day, what we want to do, for that, we need to actually take some root. If you are strong enough to straight away work on your psychology, fine enough. Otherwise, law of attraction is one tool which will start working on your psychology.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So there is one question from Deepan sir, and it's a long question, but one part of this question I would like to answer, if you are down and out, how will you maintain yourself in love? Correct. So that is what I'll share one story. This Navratri mein we put bandaras, correct? So there was a bandara, a large bandara, and this guy came who was healthy and young guy, 25, 27 years, and he took that food. And when handing over this food, the Sevadar said, "Bol Jai Shri Ram." So he said, "Yaar, मैं काय को जय श्री राम बोलूं? मेरे को राम जी ने दिया क्या? मेरे कपड़े फटे हुए हैं. I'm hungry for so many days. I don't have a shelter. Nothing is there with me. Why should I say Jai Shri Ram?" The Sevadar said, "Okay, fine. Don't do so. एक काम कर. You do one thing. I will give you good clothes right now. बोल जय श्री राम." He said, "नहीं, कपड़ों से क्या है? मैं जय श्री राम नहीं बोल रहा. That is a small thing." Am I connected?
Yes, you are.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Went blank. Okay, so he said, "Okay, fine. Do one thing. I'll give you shelter also. Bol Jai Shri." He said, "No." Oh, then he said, "Okay, fine. I'll give you 5 lakh rupees. You give me one finger of yours, small finger." He said, "No, I will not." He said, "Okay, I'll give you 50 lakh rupees. Give me your hand from this wrist joint." 50 lakh is not sufficient. He said, "Okay, fine. I'll give you 5 crore rupees. Give me your hand from shoulder." He said, "No." He said, when you are not willing to give a small finger for 5 lakh rupees and you are saying that you don't have anything. And that is where your love should actually come from, because you still are alive. You still are breathing. You still are better than many people, or probably most people. So concentrate on that, what you have, rather than what you do not have. So hope, sir, I answered your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Singh, Ashmita here. There is a question from Miss Uma Bhandari. She has a small child. She says, "Sir, could we use law of attraction to make kids calm and focused? That's what the question
Absolutely.
is.
Yeah, that's really good question. And yes, don't expect kid to be calm and composed, right? You try to be calm and composed and send a blessing to the kid that he is playing a role in your calmness and your composure. That's possible. Hardeep, would you like to say something on this?
Yes, absolutely. I practice law of attraction. I have a 1-year-old and I absolutely apply it to my motherhood. Totally, completely. In fact, if Amarjeet can allow, this child is the result of law of attraction.
Yeah, there are many stories which we can share with you. Before marrying, I mean, this is like, since you now you know that this is a second marriage, and I always said that I don't need a child. Hardeep said on 50th birthday, I'll give you a gift, which will be a child.
Can I complete this?
Yeah,
and
please.
She was born on October 17. Amarjeet's birthday was November 17, 50th birthday. So just imagine the power of this tool. So, okay, I have a question here, Amarjeet. Can I ask?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Now, see, my question is not related to love, but it is definitely on law of attraction. Now, we attract so many things in life. Let's suppose somebody wants a job. I'm attracting a good fat pay job. Or I'm attracting, I want to be rich. I want to be rich. I want to be rich. So somebody is manifesting this. And the preachers of law of attraction say that when you attract something or when you are manifesting something, do not, focus on the process, focus on the result. That, okay, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich. But what if that richness comes out of unethical means? What if suddenly, some unethical event happens and, a money is being offered or you get to be rich? So in such situation, what would you say? Is the law of attraction working, or unconsciously or the subconscious mind was, inclined towards something unethical? I mean, can you give some thoughts on that?
Yeah, Hardeep, you are a bigger practitioner than me. In law of attraction, I mean, generally when I'm attracting money, correct?
Yes.
So I am also manifesting, or I am dreaming, I would say, or I am looking into future that this is happening with me. And in that process, I am actually exploring various options also.
Okay.
And if this money is reaching to you like this, that means somewhere in your manifestation, you have attracted this.
Okay.
Right. So if your thought says that lottery nikal gaya yaar meri, and then your conviction level is there and lottery comes in, and this lottery not necessarily is the government lottery or a legal lottery, it can be this money also.
Okay. Okay, that answers my question.
Hello, sir. My name is Darshan Ras. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Audible? Yeah.
I'll request
Previously,
you to
Hardeep, that ma'am said that how about money, right? So the thing is, when you attract riches, you must attract a specific thing. If you don't attract a specific thing, it might come by any way.
Right.
The thing is, if your relative, someone might die, and their riches may be transferred to you through their will. But you will finally say that I didn't want the riches through this way. So you must be sure of which, not how you get, but the way you get. Yeah. Because when someone die, you might feel guilty that you really wanted it. That's the reason they died. You might feel guilty at the end. The thing is, it's not about feeling guilty. Don't force your will into it. I must really get.
Yeah, exactly. That's how the question came up with, what if later on we find out it is because of this? And how we should be thinking about it.
Yeah, that happens only when we force our will into it. You should never force. You should let it go. It should happen in a natural way, and you just have to be normal. Don't force your will. I must get it by so and so. Just leave it.
Thank you so much for sharing. That's a
Thank
nice
you.
thought.
Thank you.
Thank you, Darshan. Thank you, Hardeep, for your questions. We understand that we are running out of time, and we would, though we would like to continue the session, there might be some people who would like to leave. So there are two things before we draw the session to a close that I would like to share. We shared the link to the feedback form. In case you have filled out the feedback form, please type FD in the chat so that we know that you have given us the feedback. And second is, in case you would like to stay connected with us to know about the future events that we do, please connect with us on the Mindful Living Community WhatsApp group that we have shared in the chat. You can click on that link and join our community. Every weekend, we do awesome sessions on application of mindfulness to our daily life to become healthier, happier, and wealthier. And request people to mute in case they're not speaking. And the session next week is on art therapy. That's again next Saturday at 5 p.m. So you can stay connected with us using the link that is there on the chat. There is one question which was put by Bharat. We will take this up right after we close the session. For now, I thank you for joining us for this session, taking out your time. And I hope you got immense value. Thank you, Amarjeet and Hardeep, for sharing about your personal life and sharing the great
Thank you
insights.
so much.
Thank you, Hardeep. We will continue with the session. With anyone who has got questions, please stay back. But those who would like to leave, have a nice weekend. Thank you for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you. Love. So it is unconditional. Try to understand. Love cannot be selective. Love cannot be one person is loved and another person is not loved. If you are in love, state of mind is love, then everybody is loved. Whether that person is in good books or bad books, or whether that person is my person or not my person, I am in a state of mind, which is love.
Bharat, does that help you, or would you like to have a question, follow-up question?
In other words,
this is a topic which I will have to give it a lot of thought.
Yeah.
Because probably it's the first time that I'm doing a deep dive on a topic like this. It'll take a lot of time for me to internalize it. But thank you so much. I mean, a very, very different perspective. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bharat. Thank you.
In other words, Amarjeet, what you mean to say is, and correct me if I'm wrong, that love is selfish in itself a wrong statement, because love is about who I am and how I am. It is not about who or what you are.
Right.
Right? The moment
Absolutely.
I say selfish, then it is moho, it is maya. It is something I want to possess. And that's not love. But love is something that blossoms within me. Is that what you explaining?
See, if I am in love, I'll receive love. That is for sure. Why? Because I'm not selecting, I'm not expecting something. I am giving it. Whether you give it back or not, I'm giving it to you. So since I'm giving it to you, right? So naturally, very few, rarest of rare case, if you love somebody and they will hate you. At the most, they will be indifferent, but they will not hate
you. Great. I think what Deepan and Amarjeet, both of you are sharing is that it is a state of being. Love is a state of being, and when you have love as the foundation of your state of being, then all you attract is love and more love.
Correct.
So basically, लोगों के मन में प्यार या प्रेम की परिभाषा को ही बदलने की जरूरत है.
Exactly.
एक तो कई लोग उसको romantic love समझते हैं. But this love that's is much more than that romantic love.
So therefore, the prem is the right word.
हाँ, हिंदी में आप बोलोगे तो प्रेम बोल सकते हो, मोह और प्रेम. हिंदी एक्चुअली बोलो तो हिंदी के अंदर है ना, अच्छे वर्ड्स हैं जो क्लियरली डिफाइन करते हैं कि ये क्या है, प्यार है, ये प्रेम है या मोह है.
करेक्ट.
Hindi has a bigger vocabulary to express things actually.
200 साल में कुछ हमसे सीख के जाते हैं तो उनका भी भला होता है.
Right. सही बात है.
Over to you.
संजीव सर आप कुछ कह रहे हैं?
हाँ, मैं because I've seen, I've read some books on law of attraction, and उसके बाद I have seen some videos also, yeah, and there are, like, the more I saw, the more I got confused कि इसको how to practice, yeah, and उसमें मतलब you have to be very clear what you want, you have to be very clear by when you want, ये सब जो guidelines आती है, and I find it,
sorry
तो अगर कोई simplified formula या guideline हो तो that maybe if you can share.
सर आप ना वो जो formulas हैं उनको अगर follow कर सकते हो तो करिए. एक simple सा formula है, attitude of gratitude, and that can work only if you are in love. I tell you one thing, how my back got cured. 2011, I was in this situation and I was listening to Gurbani and I was saying, thank you, Why Guruji, meri kamar theek ho gayi. Right? And I love you. And I don't know what happened. I got connected with him or what. I started crying. And I got up from the bed without pain.
So this is also like known as something which we talk about self-affirmations, yeah, that you
the manifestation, self-affirmation.
Correct, yeah. So I do, I mean, definitely at my personal level, gratitude, and sometimes when I'm really facing challenge, I really start believing कि ये ऐसा होगा, ऐसा होना चाहिए, ऐसा हो रहा है, and
नहीं, ऐसा होगा is the right thing. ऐसा ही होगा.
Correct, yeah. And you, like, as the recommendation is that you also have to visualize and you have to see that yes, it is actually happening. Yeah.
Yes.
And that's how it comes finally to the manifestation. Yeah.
True.
Am I allowed to add something to this?
Yeah.
Please, yeah, please.
Yeah. See, law of attraction also depends upon the intensity. I mean, how desperate or how strongly you are believing and holding on to it. So every time you may say, okay, for X thing, I applied law of attraction. It worked. For Y thing, it is not working. There must be something missing. You have to have your insight, like what you did that time and what you are doing now. So, Amarjit always tells me, he shares his training stories and all. No? He tells me that, I believe in this. So this is going to happen. Ye ho raha hai. This is happening. So that way, if you have to be very strong believed when you are practicing law of attraction, it is completely dependent upon the intensity of your thoughts. Am I right?
So it ultimately boils down to how strongly you believe in something which you want to achieve. Yeah. So ultimately, you are with all these techniques, you are actually strengthening your frame of mind, strengthening your beliefs, and taking the right action with the right frame of mind. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
So, Amarjit and Dr. Hardeep, if I may just rephrase and just to check my understanding. And Ashish sir, I am allowed. Am I?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Please.
Okay. The trick here, and trick is probably a wrong word, but the key here is, your entire being should start, वो कहते हैं ना कण में वो एक feeling आ जाए तब हो सकता है. If I continue to feel miserable, मैं तो बुरा फंसा हूँ, नहीं ये ऐसा होगा ही, it doesn't work. Am I healthy enough mentally? Am I internally completely, is my entire system tuned towards, what is the belief, and then the expectation from the universal life force, then, you don't need to wait until things manifest. It can happen in an instant. But if the underlying tone is that of misery or greed, then that's a negating energy. Is that a correct understanding?
Yes, yes, purely. I mean, you have to be in sync. Your mind, body, and your spiritual being are in sync. And when they are in sync, all these three things are in sync, then the results are at will. I would say at will. Because like, again, I'm referring to mythology, and mythology says that you are God. And whatever God has created can be created by you also. Only thing is that you have to be in sync with that. And that is how, I mean, practically also we say that everything is created twice, one in mind and second in physical, correct?
And Amarjit, I just want to share one thing. मतलब I remember ये almost I think डेढ़ साल पुरानी बात है ये. I always used to kind of crib कि यार time नहीं है. Yeah. And in fact time होता भी नहीं था because I'm in sales job and conference calls अरे वो I was covering Asia Pacific region and all that, so काफी intense होता था. But then I read somewhere कि भाई I should start telling me कि मेरे पास बहुत time है. Yeah. And I kept repeating that, मतलब मुझे जब भी मौका मिलना, जब भी टाइम मिलना, चाहे उसको मैं बोलूं या दिमाग में, मतलब I used to kind of continuously tell myself कि मेरे पास बहुत टाइम है. और उसका I don't know mystically उसका असर ये हुआ कि मेरे कैलेंडर से, जबकि हमारे जैसे जो प्रैक्टिस है कि योर कैलेंडर इज ओपन, जिसको भी टाइम मिलता है वो अपना स्लॉट बुक कर लेता है. यू कैन फिक्स अपॉइंटमेंट. And I started seeing the change कि वो unnecessary type की जो मीटिंग होती थी वो पता नहीं अपने आप ही निकलने लगे. Yeah? And then I became very selective in which meeting I want to really attend, which are the people I really want to connect. Yeah? Right. And I felt कि अब तो टाइम है मेरे पास.
इसका टाइम का तो सर एक और भी है जो which philosophy I follow. Wherever you have interest, you have a time for.
Yeah, वो भी है, लेकिन I'm just really sharing this you कि
यहाँ पर in this case when you manifested कि आपके पास टाइम ही टाइम है, तो your interest was in time, you got it.
Correct. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying कि जो फालतू की मीटिंग्स वगैरह थी, जो मतलब कई बार कोई मतलब ही सर पैर भी नहीं होता था कि यार क्यों ये मीटिंग हो रही है, but all those started vanishing from the calendar. Yeah.
Right. Great.
Those were some real great questions and insights and discussion. And Deepan sir, one thing I would like to share with you, जो आपने कहा कि कण में वो बसना चाहिए before it manifests. One practice which helps a lot in aligning our conscious and subconscious mind and getting the entire system together is visualization. So when we visualize, our whole being gets aligned, and that's a very powerful practice. जो कण का आपने mention किया उसके लिए करने के लिए. Because sometimes when we are doing affirmations, it's only conscious mind and it doesn't connect the whole being. But when we are visualizing, it connects conscious, subconscious, and the entire.
Correct. Yeah. And there are evidences of this in sport. Bangladesh, before it won the finals or it would reach the finals, for example. But moment it reached the finals, the thought was, अरे हम फाइनल में पहुंच गए, अब कैसे होगा? अब तो हम यहाँ आ गए, अब तो ऑस्ट्रेलिया आ गया सामने, अब तो इंग्लैंड आ गया सामने, अब तो इंडिया को भी बीट करना है. सो वही वो विजुअलाइजेशन ही पूरा गड़बड़ होके गिर गए. सेम थिंग इज हैपनिंग विद साउथ अफ्रीका. कुछ समय तक पहुंचेंगे और फिर अरे हम तो अभी बड़ा हो गया, तो वहीं फंस गए.
Actually, you must be knowing that there is a book called The Power of Subconscious Mind, Joseph Murphy. Yeah?
Yes.
मतलब उस book ने मुझे काफी मतलब impact किया था. I read that few times. Yeah. And was really quite impacting.
Awesome, Sanjeev ji. Thanks for sharing that. That book has been on my to-read list for a long time now. You provided me the motivation to read it now.
और एक और बुक है, that is by a lady author Louise Hayes, I think.
Louise Hayes.
And her affirmations are around how you get rid of your mental and physical ailments and all that. Yeah.
Right.
For everything she has she has cause and effect कि उसका वजह क्या होती है और how you can overcome and what sort of affirmation you need to use.
The other thing that helps on a lighter note is the mauka ads, you know. अभी कल देखो क्या होता है. India Pakistan mauka ads. It helps visualization, you know, how we defeat Pakistan.
True.
In the cricket match.
Ashish sir, can I request for your leave? I mean, we have to.
Yes.
No, I understand. नहीं जाओगे हम तो पकड़ के रखेंगे आपको. आप तो निकल जाइए.
बैठे हैं सर. आपसे तो इजाजत मांग सकते हैं. इजाजत नहीं मिलेगी.
अरे नहीं भाई, मतलब क्या आप निकलोगे नहीं तो हम नहीं जाने देंगे. आप चलो.
चलिए, thank you very much, Amarjeet and Ashish ji, and thank you everyone. I think it was really very good session. Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Hardeep, are you there? Hardeep, are you there?
Yes. हाँ जी.
Deepan sir is my guru. I learned a few. He was my senior in Future Generally.
अच्छा, okay, he is the same person. वो मुझे नहीं पता था.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard about him when you were in FG. You told me, na? You remember?
Yeah.
So thank you for that, Amarjeet. लेकिन इसकी कोई जरूरत नहीं है. We are कोई senior junior कुछ नहीं. We are equals and we are doing a fab job. Thank you for this wonderful session here.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
everyone.
Everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.